Oh man, in this video we need to talk about ETHENA up 50 to 60% in just a day after its launch. Is this the next big thing? I'm going to break down whether this is the next big thing for this bull market, or is it another Terra Luna disaster just waiting to happen? Loads of excitement behind this project, some serious names and companies backing this project. It had its launch yesterday and already the price is rocketing up here, already sitting at 90 cents here. ETHENA, the big name, the big project, loads of excitement. But is it just another bull market followed by another complicated stablecoin? I'm going to break down exactly what I'm doing. If you want to trade this token, you can do so very, very carefully. Links in the description to the exchanges I personally use. It's on a lot of big exchanges already. If you guys are looking at it, you can jump onto CoinMarketCap, click on markets, and you can see it's on Binance, it's on Bybit, it's on or most of the main exchanges. You get it on Uniswap if you want as well, KuCoin as well. Go check it out. Mexi as well. All my links are in the description if you want to trade it and get some amazing bonuses. Definitely do so. But don't do so before you watch this video, because I need to break down whether I'm buying. And by the end of this, I'm going to give you a conclusion on what I'm doing in this market. Now, we need to start off by understanding what is this project. Well, as soon as you come onto their website, ethena.fi, you're going to start getting, for those of you who are around in the last cycle, you're going to start getting Terra Luna / Anchor Protocol vibes. For those who were around at the time, Anchor Protocol was where everybody was locking up their UST, which was a stable coin, algorithmically backed. I'm going to get into some of these nuances shortly, to get yield. And some of the yields people were generating were absolutely insane. To put it into context, you're lucky to get a couple of percent in a traditional bank. If you jump on here now to ETHENA, look what they're claiming. You can stake your USDE, which I'm going to come on to, and you can make 35% APY. Annual percentage return over the year, 35%. So you can already see, and I know this from previous cycles, how the excitement and the hype will generate when people can just lock up a bit of money here and get 35% for very little perceived risk. And I'm going to say perceived because there is a big risk here. Now, of course, you can see on the right hand side, they're doing their early access thing. Get yourself an invite code. Fantastic marketing, gets a lot of people really, really excited about it. If I move my big head out the way, you'll see who it's backed by. Dragonfly, Arthur Hayes, who was part of the big exchange at the time before, eventually having his downfall there. Binance, OKX, Bybit, Deribit, Aave, Curve, Frax, Kobe, some of the big names. Surely you'd look at this and say, hang on a second, isn't this a great project backed by all the big names? Binance, OKX, Bybit, everybody. Should we now be aping into this project? Well, if this was any other industry but crypto, maybe. But what has crypto taught us time and time again? Time and time again. Right? Are we not going to learn? Are we going to keep touching the hot fire and getting burnt? No, we're going to do our research, aren't we, guys? Which is hopefully why you're on this video, to actually look into this stuff, read the stuff yourself, so you don't fall for the next Terra Luna, you don't fall for the next Celsius, you do not fall for the next FTX, which also was backed by all the biggest names. So please don't just find me a YouTube video where somebody goes, oh, look, the logos are there, look, it's Binance and OKX, let's ape into this thing. Guys, come on. How many times do you need to get burned before you learn? Right? So we're going to actually try to dive into this and understand it. But I'm going to tell you from the offset, they've made this thing super complicated, right? I'm not the average person in crypto, but they've made this super, super complicated. And anything that is super, super complicated generally is something you want to stay away from as a rule of thumb, because if it's too complicated to explain, you don't know it well enough. Einstein said that, right? If you cannot explain it simply enough, you do not know it well enough. And so far, I'm going to try to dig through this to help you guys understand what this means and how it works. So let's start it off right. Let's get straight into this before we get into the price action and where I think this can go and how I'm going to play this as well. ETHENA is a synthetic dollar protocol on Ethereum that will provide a crypto-native solution for money not reliant on traditional banking system. So already they're making it a bit complicated, but let's try to understand, right? If we take a look at stablecoins, in fact, let's start at the top here. ETHENA's USDE is not the same as a fiat stablecoin like USDC or USDT. So let's start at the top of the tree, right? Let's try to understand, because stablecoins are really, really complicated. I don't want to do a full deep dive. I have done deep dives in stablecoins before. Search the channel, go watch those videos if you're new to the space. But as a raw form, you've got US dollars, right? Fiat currency. Then you had USDC and USDT. What is that? It's supposed to be that you give a dollar, right? You give a real dollar and they give you a crypto dollar, a USDC or USDT. I think most people watching this video understand that concept. However, where it gets complicated is, are they fully collateralized or are they not collateralized? This is where the games start to be played. And you guys will know from the very early onset, in the early days, I was calling out USDT because their backing was not good at the time. It has improved vastly, but their backing was not good. Why? Because for all the dollars you were giving them, the $64 billion at the time, I can't remember what it is now, $64 billion at the time, all that money was not sat there at USDT's bank account, right? They put it in commercial paper. They were investing it, which therefore, if those investments fluctuate and you want your dollar back, guess what? You can't get it. And that's what starts to create a depeg. So that's in your boring stablecoins, right? USDC, USDT. Then came along our good friend UST, Terra Luna, right? You had Luna, which was the sister coin, and you had UST, which was the stable coin. And the stable coin was supposed to be pegged by the price mechanism from Luna. Okay, very complicated. It was, in essence, it was algorithmically backed. They thought they were so clever that they would create a mathematical algorithm which would keep the stable coin pegged. But of course, as we now know, it didn't stay pegged. It got broken and it catastrophically failed. Now, if you jump onto my Twitter, I've retweeted this as well. Andre Cronje has already weighed in on this situation as well. You can go into my page. You can take a look here. Andre Cronje, I'm not going to waste your time by reading all this. Go read it. Andre Cronje, one of the smartest minds in DeFi, has broken down his view on this mechanism as well. So it's worth you going and checking that as well. We need to understand what are they trying to do. So we got algorithmically backed. That didn't work. Now let's take a look. ETHENA is a synthetic dollar protocol built on Ethereum. Okay, so it's on Ethereum that will provide a crypto native solution for money, not rely on banking. ETHENA's synthetic dollar will provide the first censorship resistant, scalable, stable crypto native solution for money. This is all marketing talk for now, guys. Let's skip all this. Let's go here. USDE peg stability is ensured through the use of delta hedging derivative positions against protocol-held collateral. Guys, are you telling me this is not complicated? You got to remember something. Let's remember something. I've worked in traditional finance. I'm quite familiar with crypto. We can break this down and understand what this is doing. But the point of the matter is this. What is the stablecoin designed for? A stablecoin is designed for the average layperson to come away from traditional finance, to on-ramp into crypto and have a stablecoin. And what does a stablecoin need to be? It has one job: stay stable. Stay stable. And what is the safest way of it staying stable? Just back it one-to-one with the dollar, right? Someone gives you a dollar, you keep the dollar. But why do people not keep the dollar, including banks? Why do traditional finance banks, when you deposit your money, not keep your money in the bank? Because they don't have your money, remember? Because they're greedy. Because they're greedy. And this was the downfall of traditional finance, and we've seen it be the downfall of crypto already with Terra Luna. And my gut feeling here is we could see another downfall here if this type of behavior continues in terms of greed. This is just people trying to create money on money, right? It's usury. It's money on money. And when you're trying to create money on money, you enter this realm of greed and things start breaking, right? Things start breaking because you start forcing mathematical mechanisms to try to keep things working the way you want it. The internet bond will combine yield derived from staking Ethereum as well as the funding and basis. Now let's delve into this, guys. I've actually gone to the effort of reading these FAQs for you guys to help you try navigate this, but I'm going to give you, just an impression of how complicated this is. Let's start with this. How do you mint or redeem USDE? User deposits any form of staked Ethereum or Ethereum to ETHENA's Mint Smart contract. ETHENA transfers the collateral asset from the Mint Smart contract to an off-exchange custody. This ETHENA then delta hedges the deposit amount of staked Ethereum immediately. Stability is ensured through the delta neutral positioning. This position is 100% collateralized. Okay, so look at this, guys. Not only can you deposit Ethereum, you can also deposit staked Ethereum. So this is Ethereum you've already staked. You've now got your staked Ethereum token, right? And now you're going to go put it here to mint USDE to then go chase an extra 35% yield, right? Because this is where the greed of a bull market comes in. Are you seeing the steps? If you've not seen a bull market before, maybe you don't see this so obviously. Maybe you just see this as a money printing machine. And I'm going to come on to how it can be a money printing machine and why we need to be aware of it, but I just got to share the risks. I know everybody's going to be aping, everybody's going to be FOMOing. It's my job to share the risks and the research I'm doing. If you appreciate that, smash up the likes, make sure you subscribed and supporting the channel. Okay, so that's how you're going to be minting these things. But I wanted to look at this other bit as well. What is delta neutral stability, right? Because that's the bit they're using as their collateral, as their peg mechanism to make sure it stays pegged. Remember, if you get the depegging, your dollar, which is this, your USDE, this is their USDE, their stable coin, which, by the way, hasn't been super stable just recently. I mean, it was already fluctuating. You expect a little bit of fluctuations, but if this depegs, that's what creates the drama. USDE retains its peg to a dollar by being both fully collateralized by users' deposits, the Ethereum and staked Ethereum, as well as being delta neutral on the collateral provided. A portfolio of assets and positions can be considered delta neutral if there is zero net exposure to the underlying change in price, in effect, by taking out a derivative position to perfectly hedge the supplied collateral at the same notional size. So what they're basically doing is they've created an arbitrage opportunity that keeps the token pegged. And you need to understand, this is how any basic stablecoin works, right? It creates arbitrage opportunities. That's how you make sure that these things stay pegged, because let me try and walk you through it. They explain it here as well. So if we take a look at this is called peg arbitrage. How does USDE maintain its peg? In short, USDE maintains its peg by the portfolio remaining delta neutral at all times. That's what we just went through. So then what happens if USDE trades off $1 on an external AMM, like Uniswap or something like that? Well, if so, there's this arbitrage opportunity, right? If USDE is worth less in the external market, a user could do the following. If USDE is worth more, then they'll do the following. Basically, what they're saying is this algorithm would allow there to be arbitrage opportunities, which creates an interest for people to keep it pegged. The problem is, we've been sold the same dream before with Terra Luna. What makes this different, right? The fact that it's, now you're using derivative contracts, which opens up a whole new canon of verbs as well. Hey guys, just realizing the edit, I've probably not explained this the best, so let's try to break this down a little bit better for those who aren't understanding. So if you want to mint one USDE, which is this new stable coin, you need to provide as collateral, you need to provide Ethereum, okay? Or they're even accepting staked Ethereum. So you've staked your Ethereum somewhere like Lido or wherever you've put it. You've gotten your staked Ethereum, or you got your normal Ethereum. You go and put that into the vault, and they will go ahead and mint your USDE. So you've given $1 worth right here. So you've given $1 worth of Ethereum or staked Ethereum, and they'll give you $1 of USDE, okay? Equivalent. Now, that's their mechanism. But there's one extra piece. How do they maintain the peg? Because they've given you $1, but now they hold a bunch of Ethereum exposure, right? They're holding Ethereum exposure. So if you deposited $1 of Ethereum, they gave you $1 here, but now the price of Ethereum has gone down. Well, guess what? They're in the red, right? They now no longer have the full 100% backing. So if Ethereum's price was to fall by 5%, they are now only 95% collateralized. So how are they going to unwind this? Well, what they're proposing to do is they will set up a derivatives contract, a hedge. Now, if you think about a hedge, what is a hedge? A hedge is to mitigate risk, is to take a volatile asset class to take the opposite side of the trade such that you are neutral. Okay, it's like taking a long and you take a short, the other side, and therefore you get a neutral position. Okay, very, very important that you understand that. That is how any hedge fund works. That's how any company that is working with foreign exchange, well, you've probably heard of the term foreign exchange hedging. You're hedging your risk. So what they'll be doing is they're going to be trying to hedge the risk that the value of the collateral, in this case Ethereum, is mitigated, and they will do so by taking out a derivative contract. A derivative contract. Now, of course, a derivative contract comes with its own risks. Remember, when you're trading derivatives, you don't trade the underlying asset. No, you're trading a piece of paper. Okay, when you trade a perpetual or derivatives on these exchanges where you can do 100x leverage, 50x leverage, and you buy some Ethereum, you're not actually buying Ethereum, which you can take off the exchange. You're buying a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper which gives you exposure to Ethereum, the underlying asset. So this comes with its own risk, because when you're playing around with derivative contracts, guess what? You have one big risk, which is your funding rate. Your funding rate. Remember, if you're shorting, for example, you have a funding rate. You're borrowing the asset to short it. And so in there comes its own risks, and these are the risks which ETHENA will have to figure out. Now, if you jump onto their FAQs, they will say, "Oh, look, it's okay. That is, we've studied the chance that the funding rates are going to be negative for too long, and we don't think it's a major risk." That being said, they've included it. So take a look here under number 10 in their funding rate section. You can see how they've covered it. What happens when the funding is more negative than the staked ETH yields? When funding is more negative, the insurance fund, they've got insurance fund, will step in to make USDE stakers whole. So they already know that there is a patch, and then they've already got an insurance policy to cover up this patch. Like, surely this is just poor design. If funding were to persist negative for consecutive months, the insurance fund would gradually be depleted. Once the insurance fund is depleted, we would see a slow attrition of principal backing the stablecoin, and as a result, USDE would depeg. They're even giving you the scenario of how USDE would depeg. So basically what they're saying is, look, we're betting on the fact that we will not be liquidated in our funding rate positions. We will not have a black swan event, right? Imagine creating a stablecoin and not trying to account for some of these edge cases. You got to. We've seen that with crypto, the most volatile asset class known to man, and you're just gonna be like, "Oh, it's okay. We've not seen more than 13 negative funding rates in the past. We don't expect it to happen." You can't do that. And that's a big risk for me. The other big thing we need to understand is the staked ETH portion. Look at this. Lido and exchanges offer one-to-one redemption of staked ETH into ETH. So again, just so you understand, you've gone ahead and deposited your ETH into Lido to get an APY. You've now been given staked ETH, right? Let me just draw this through. So you've deposited Ethereum, right? Real Ethereum that you own. You've deposited Ethereum into Lido, and they've given you a staked Ethereum. Now you're doing that because you want return. They've given you some APY, right? So you're making some return over in Lido. Great. But then you're greedy. You go, "Hang on a second. I've got a bunch of staked ETH sat in my wallet. I don't want it to do nothing. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put this, and I'm going to put it to get me some USDE. I want some ETHENA USDE, right? I want some stablecoin action, because then I want to put it in their vault and get my 34% APY that they've promised me. Fantastic. Okay, here's the problem. What happens if there's a run on Lido? We've seen this. We've been close to this before, right? What happens if everybody says, "Oh no, I don't want my staked ETH anymore. It's scary. Something's happened. There's a black swan event. I need my Ethereum back." Guess what? People will start accepting less Ethereum. They'll say, "Okay, instead of my $1 Ethereum, just give me 90 cents. Okay, just give me 95 cents. Give me 97 cents, right?" They're happy to take less just to get out of staked ETH, because they can see it collapsing, then they just want the Ethereum back. Well, guess what? This now has a knock-on effect. It has a knock-on effect on your USDE. It has a knock-on effect on the ETHENA token, which is the ENA token as well. Okay? And so these are all the different risk factors we need to consider when looking at this new stablecoin. For me, this just spells risk everywhere. I'd love for somebody to come on and explain to me why they think this is safe, why they think this is foolproof. But for me, this presents huge risk. Few other things I want to share as well. Few other things I need to share with you guys as well. Let's take a look at this. This is the ETHENA token. Now, since the launch, you can see we had a nice little pickup, right? This is the Binance exchange. It launched, moved to the upside. Of course, it's on all the major launch pads, on Binance, on Bybit, on BitGet as well. Of course, it's getting all the attraction and notoriety right now. But let's take a look at it. If you look at this right now, the market cap is sitting at 1.2 billion. Yes, it's up 56%, 1.2 billion. But that's not it. I need you guys to concentrate. If you've been following any of my content, you will be looking right here straight away. Fully diluted market cap, $13 billion. $13 billion market cap already. So this is a really big project already. And it's only just launched. Okay, $13 billion. Now, if you take a look at the circulating supply, 1.4 billion ENA tokens, ETHENA tokens, are currently in circulating supply. There's a max of 15 billion. So you've only got just under 10% in circulating supply. So we need to understand what is the token release schedule, because that's going to have an effect on your price action as well. So please keep all these things in mind. If we take a look at the USDE token, 1.9 billion market cap already. So there's $1.9 billion worth of this token going about right now, and it's going to increase. And this comes down to, what am I doing in this market with this token? Because it will increase. The traction they've built, the attention they've built, the notoriety they've built, and more importantly, this 35% here, I understand human nature. And human nature will be, hey, it's a bull market. I need me some yield. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to stake my Ethereum. I'm going to get my staked ETH. I'm going to chuck it in here. I'm going to get USDE. I'm going to put it then here and get my 35% APY. People are going to do it. People are going to do it. And in fact, you can already see that with 1.9 billion or whatever it was I just showed you there, $1.9 billion USDE already minted, people are doing it. So the question is, are you going to trade this? Well, for me, I wouldn't mind personally short-term trading this. I'm happy to do some trading on this based on technicals as we get some more data, based on social momentum and trading. Would I hold this long-term? No. No, I did do really, really well with with Terra Luna, right? I made a lot of money with Terra Luna, but the problem was I considered it as a long-term hold. Now, in hindsight, had I have considered it as a trading bag, it could be a medium-term trading bag, something I'm looking to get in and out and kind of not marry that bag and hold it through multiple cycles. Because remember, when I'm investing in altcoins, I'm holding projects which I don't mind keeping for multiple years. I need to believe in them to actually hold them. You've seen that with my conviction for projects like Phantom and other projects as well. But with this project, if I was to trade it, it would be simply a trading thing. I would not be tied to this. For me, there's too many risks right now. It's early days. Maybe we'll get some more data. Maybe we'll get some more kind of understanding around how they think this is going to work. But for me, this is risk upon risk upon risk. It's laddering on risk where there needs to be, a stablecoin needs to have minimal risk. If you take the spectrum on the one side of having a stablecoin, which is just purely one-to-one backed with the dollar, for every dollar they mint, they have $1 in a vault which they do not touch. That's the perfect risk, low risk stablecoin. And then on the other end, you would have something crazy. This is what I call crazy. This is laddering on staked Ethereum on top of this delta neutral derivatives contract, which is affected by funding rates as well. This is going to ask for pain. I think this is a little bit of a problem, which could, if it collapses, create catastrophic problems. We saw how Terra Luna grew with huge market caps and eventually was one of the biggest collapses we've seen in crypto. This could pose the same risk. Now, of course, like I've just shared, there'll be a bunch of people who want to trade this. So then you have the issue of, okay, people aren't believing in this long term, like me right now, but maybe we're still trading it. So you get this self-fulfilling prophecy where the price is going up, the market cap is going up, but what happens when the music stops and everybody takes their money away? Boom, starts falling, depeg, and risk continues. So one for us to watch out for. I'll continue to keep an update on it. If you think I've got the wrong perspective on this, if you want to add another perspective, please do chime in the comments. Please tweet me at RealIjaz1. I'm just dissecting this as I get the data. I'm just a lay person like you, dissecting data, trying to research it. If you have a different perspective, share it with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.